This is side plank, or half side bridge. The knees and the feet are stacked. The knee, hip, and shoulder in one straight line, so the hips are forward, and then up with the hip off of the floor, and the focus is the right lat. So the right lat stays engaged, and if you can, then you walk out to full plank. So the top leg comes out, the bottom one comes behind it. If you can hold the full, the lat is on. If not, you move back to half. So back down to the knee again, and then back up with the hip. And that's your half plank. Front plank is done from the elbows until it's mastered. For a minute, the lats are the focus. So pulling the ears down from the shoulders or pushing the shoulder blades down to where the back pocket is a common cue. The lats are the focus. The belly is going to work. The hips have to make sure not to be too high or too low. They're all even. Shoulders, hip, knee all in one straight line. And then making sure there's no pressure across the low back. If there's pressure across the low back, you drop to half plank on the knees. If the back discomfort goes away, you hold this as long as you can, or you try to move back to full plank, or you come down to full plank or half plank. If you still feel your back here, then you abandon the plank. Rest for a few seconds and try it again, working to a minute. Bird dog you can do with one knee on a wedge. We like to use a wedge because it makes room for the other knee to pass, the knee that's moving to pass by. And the arm and the leg are out straight, the toe is pointed, the fingers are pointed. You want the heel, knee, hip, shoulder all in one straight line, and the back stay perfectly still. And then in this case, the focus is the lat of the hand that's on the floor. So left lat, left glute are working here to stabilize the bird dog. So standing two-hand press, glutes are engaged. The weight starts at the chest. The narrow handstands is always helpful. And then as the weight goes up, it's pressed back and the neck is cued to look up a little bit. And the weight is driving back to load the lat while the glute is tight. It can also be done with one hand. If it's done with one hand, the kettlebell is in the right hand this time. The kettlebell is underneath and then presses straight up, underneath the chin, and presses straight up the palm forward and then down. So the pinky faces the mirror on the descent and up, and then the palm comes forward at the top. That's the one hand press. So the TRX row, the key is that the glutes stay engaged so that the body stays straight. You want the back of the body to stay engaged the entire time. The head lays back, the hips are up. So the glutes stay tight so the hips don't collapse there at the bottom of the movement. Solid at the bottom. So no hip collapsing, the glutes stay engaged, and then the row through the lats with the elbows close to the ribs. The further the feet are forward, the harder the exercise. Okay, ropes. We use ropes for heart rate. What matters is that the lats stay engaged. So no elevation of the shoulders. Here's singles. So the lats stay nice and tight. And if you feel your back, then all you have to do is stand up straight, keep the glutes tight so the back quiets down. Then doubles are here, 2 at a time, doubles. You see the rope make nice smooth undulations, and then in and out. We move the hands back and forth. You feel this a lot in your chest and your shoulders, the outside of your shoulders. And again, the rope is nice and smooth. They don't cross over. And the last is circles to the outside, little circles to the outside, and the shoulders stay down. This is pull over in tabletop. So the feet are off the floor, the belly becomes engaged, the lats stay engaged as you reach the weight as far back as you can, so it has got good range of motion here. The heavier the weight you can manage, the better with this exercise. And you can also add the legs reaching down. In this case, the feet dropping to the floor. So this is double knee raise with a pullover, or extending the legs away becomes even harder. The further you extend the legs away, the harder the exercise. Just make sure the back stays quiet. Pull over on a wedge. Single leg supported squat. The foot's forward, the torso leans back, the arms are straight, the hand is a hook, and the lats are engaged. The leg that's free leads the movement. So the back leg, the leg that's off the floor, come on out of it, the leg that's off the floor leads the movement back. So pushing the left foot back in this case, and then notice the hip moves back and then the hip kicks forward. So there's no pulling in with the arms, or as little pulling in with the arms as possible, and the shin stays vertical and the arms stay straight. Knee stabilized squat. So kettlebell or dumbbell, what matters is that it's held close to the sternum, and then sit back to the squat. And the squat's through the hip hinge. So the tailbone reaches back and the shins stay vertical. The weight stays close to the chest and the lats stay on. And there's the two-hand squat and press. So squat, pushing through the press, all in one motion. So the squat is really, the press is really with the legs. The arms assist and the weight is driven back, and then looking up is always helpful for your neck. So it's two-hand squat and press or squat.